So let's see how well this does. In the grand scheme of things, we're all dying, right? And yet, 2 days ago, I received word that I have a tumor. I have a mass. It's in my head. It's very similar to what my brother experienced when he was first diagnosed with cancer. He was able to treat his aggressively at Ohio State University, I believe, and then he went into remission for a year and a half, and he had a blessed time during that. One of the results of that period of time was him and I growing closer than ever before, despite not having a whole lot of contact. He and I both engaged in a period of self-development and spiritual growth, and because of that, because of each of our individual journeys, we were able to meet each other in kind, and it was an extraordinarily beautiful thing for the two of us to be able to share on the phone as he was on his deathbed. So grateful for having had that experience, that life experience. I got to have that. I still carry that with me, even though my brother passed away several years ago. So I guess I'm going to start vlogging, because these might be my last opportunities at conveying anything or everything that I wanted to get out of my system. So at the least, if you have the openness, that you'll get to know me a little bit better, and maybe you and I, whoever you are, can relate more than you realize because of something that I've gone through that you might not know about. I'd love to learn about all of you, although my focus right now is on changing my lifestyle habits to address this mass. In short, I feel at peace right now. I have, when given a plan to execute something, if it's a thoughtful plan, a sensible plan, then what I've come to understand is I can relax in between the periods of time between now and when something is planned to happen. And so currently, this is August 1st. The next planned medical appointment is going to be August 10th with a specialist at UCSD who will consult with me about the choice of getting a biopsy done. My scientific, Western-educated mind says that's a great idea. Biopsy is going to give us nothing but more information, because they'll be able to extract a little portion of the mass and test it and find out what it is, maybe where it came from, and what we can do about it. In the short amount of research that I've done since Tuesday, I've learned that biopsy actually opens up the possibility of releasing cancer cells from an encapsulated tumor. Our body's natural defense against something foreign. It will encapsulate it. And so if that's true, then my goal is to get that, whatever that is that's encapsulated, out of me before it spreads. That is the plan regardless, whether I do it through Western methods or alternative methods. And because I have the luxury of time at this moment, which is before the 10th, for that consultation, I'm going to explore all the different options that I know of, and I'm going to be sensible, I'm going to be considerate, and I'm going to be open-minded as well, because why not? As many of us have come to realize, the ways that we are taught about life are not the only ways to think about life. And they are not the only ways to live life fully. We can talk about that from, maybe not mathematics, thankfully, but the arts, culture, language, relationship, how to be a man, how to be a woman, all these different things that seem like they'd be really apparent are not, because we're taught based on some set of beliefs, some frame of reference. So I'm gonna keep an open mind and see what happens. I'm so grateful for everybody that has just jumped at the opportunity to offer what they know and suggest references and resources, and as a measure of abundance, I am rich and wealthy beyond imagine. I'm so grateful. Part of my development has been to study and practice Buddhist teachings, and also martial arts. And from that era of my life, I've come to see death as this wonderful informant, this guide that compels me to relish life every moment. Ever since it became so clear to me that what I had been taught as far as living a fulfilling life, which was to get wealthy, own property, have a family, yada yada, the American dream. When I realized that was not for me anyway, I came to see other ways in which I could find everlasting fulfillment and peace. And one of them is by embracing the notion of death. So here I am, several years after coming to that conclusion, and the acid test is, I'm feeling at peace with where things are. I don't want to die, but if it did, how do I feel about the choices I've made? I have some sadness and regret about some things, but generally I feel pretty good. So again, I can feel at peace today, and regardless of what might happen. I'm not trying to be morose, I'm just, being practical. I don't have to beat myself up or worry. And that's liberating. So I'm going to stop here. I'll probably talk more about my ideas on liberation, which have little to do with a gun, and nothing to do with nations or boundaries. Maybe a little bit, but personal freedom and liberation from being human, and the fears and the insecurities of being human. We'll get into that some other time. Anyway, I love you all. Bye.